Welcome to Ralph's Flybox. Today we're going to tie Ralph's Little Pine. It's a very effective pattern for the local sculpins that I find here in central Pennsylvania and northern New Jersey. I have fished it in Virginia as well. It's a specific muddler pattern. It's not a generic one, so it's adjustable to fit anybody's water. I tie it specifically in a size 10 on a 3X dry fly hook actually. I use a mustad or a standard dry fly hook because I like the gape on the smaller streamers. So I go with a 3X long dry fly hook to get the gape that I want and the bend of the hook that I want. I start off with black tying thread. Start my thread. This pattern is not heavily weighted, but it is weighted enough to sink. I don't fish it with split shot, and I don't tie it with bead head, but I do add some weight. I use 15 thousandths lead wire substitute. I start my lead underbody even with the point of the hook, and then I wrap forward. And I bring that lead about 2 full eye lengths from the eye of the hook. That does two things. It obviously adds weight to my fly, and it also helps me to shape my body as well. And put a dam in the front, dam in the back. Next I'm going to tie in the wire. It's copper wire, small, ultra wire. Bring your thread just to the front. I like to tie it in at the side of the hook. And bring your wire back. I'm going to bring it back, wrap back to the barb of the hook with the wire. Next you're going to tie in your body material. Body material is number 738 mullein. This is DMC 25 mullein, standard craft mullein. And it's kind of a goldish tan. Has a little bit of a glint to it, not much. More tan than gold. And I'm going to tie that in at the back of the lead. Help fill in that step. Wrap back to the barb of the hook. And then bring my thread forward to in front of the lead. When you bring your mullein forward, that body forward, you want to pull it tight. When you pull it tight, it'll flatten out just a little bit, and it'll wrap as such. There, get it started, and then you want a slender body. You don't want to over wrap too much. You just want a nice slender. It actually gives a slightly tapered body as you go forward. But you're not building it up. Ends up kind of cigar shaped. And when you get to the end, tie off in front of the lead. Trim your butt and wrap it down. This mullein gives the same effect, some similar effect to wool. Wraps a little smoother. Make sure you overwrap it quite well at the end, because it will have a tendency to slip on you. Next material you're going to tie in is your wing. I use the micro pine squirrel strips. This is a dark brown. And I start this in front of lead, clearing a little strip of leather. And then with saliva, I wet the hair. If you don't want to use saliva, you can use a little thing of water. That's fine, but you got to wet it and stand it up. So when you pull it tight across the top, it's perpendicular to the hook. And I bring my wire around for the first wrap, and you're going to separate the hair, making an opening for your wire as it passes through. And if it starts to dry out, get it wet again. And you're going to wrap your wire forward, basically like standard ribbing, but that's not the main concern. The main concern is to anchor the wing. And in this pattern you should get 4 to 5 wraps for your ribbing wire. Don't hurry. It's a slower process. If you do it right, it comes out perfect, and as if there was no effort at all in it. If you try and rush it, you'll see your divisions in the hair. And then I give a wrap in front of the wing with the wire. And as that dries, you won't even see the divisions. Next material you're going to tie in is a hen pheasant shoulder hackle. I use hen. I like the black center and the barring. I like the segmentation look that you get, the different colors in hen pheasant. I use it for quite a few nymphs and streamers. And you're going to tie it in. I tie this in at the side of the hook. Wrap my thread all the way down, then bring it back up. Now when I wrap this hackle, I'm not going to advance it much. I'm going to tie it, I'm going to wrap it in place. I like to try and get 3 wraps if I can. As you see, usually 2, a good 2, 2.5. I'm not going to advance it. I want to leave room for the rest of the fly. And I'm going to wrap back into it anyway. Make sure you get all your separation from your fibers. And then I sweep the fibers back and wrap back into them. I force it back fairly far for this pattern. I want it a good tight cone backwards. And then your last material you're going to tie in is black ostrich herl. I don't tie this pattern with a bead head. I don't like the jigging action that you get from a bead head when you're stripping a muddler. But I do like the profile. And I began adding the ostrich herl a few years ago, and it has really proven to be an effective portion of the fly. I've gone back a couple times to tying without it. but I come back to it. It does change the properties of the fly. All I have to do is do it correctly. Got one fiber I'm fighting with. And when you're fighting a losing battle, it comes off. And then I'm going to give usually 3 wraps. I give them slippery. I put them right behind each other. I want a nice tight little head. And then give yourself a good head. I keep a little bit larger head with this. And it looks like I'm going to continue to capture that one piece of hackle. So we'll get rid of that. And whip finish. And then last but not least, I'm going to give a liberal dab of Sally Hansen's. And there it is, Ralph's Little Pine. It's probably my most effective Matuka slash squirrel strip or rabbit strip, bunny strip style pattern that I have. And what I do is I trim this to twice the length. I trim it. I want the shank length tail sticking out the back. I tie it just a little bit long. I try and get it close. I try and tie it just a little bit long in the beginning, and then trim it to suit me. And there it is, Ralph's Little Pine. I hope it adds to your box. It is a very effective pattern on the waters around here, and I hope it adds to your time on the water. Good luck. Thank you.